Hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Meg James, your Move to Spain coach, and this is episode Veintidós. And happy Valentine's Day. It's San Valentín Day, Dia de San Valentín here in España. And it is a different day for us than usual. My husband is on a work project for his London contract. The boys have football. And so it kind of just feels like another day. And so I'm wearing my heart earrings and bringing the pink just to bring a little girl energy, especially with a lot of busy days up for us this weekend. And so what I wanted to do on today's episode is to talk more about how we selected the school that we attend in Madrid, and also talk more about private school and why we choose that as the entry point into Spain for our family. I also am going to reveal the fact that we are in the researching schools process again and what that looks like. So there's a lot to unpack today. Let's just get right into it. Start by saying that when it comes to school questions, I'm just not an expert. And so I have what I refer to as my cabinet of team members here for your move to Spain that help me with questions that are beyond, say, my skill set. And so I work with Tendoria Educational. Nathalie and her team here and in Portugal help families consider private schools around Spain. And I just think they do a wonderful job. They answer all the questions that I have about moving schools and what that was like. And also they're here as a resource for you. And so I'm putting their link in here. If you are someone who's considering a move to Spain, contact them. They do a wonderful job and they can walk you through the process with the consultation. So I asked her to help me by answering some of your questions that you had about attending private school here in Spain. So let's jump into the questions and see the answers that she provided, not me, to help you guide your move to Spain. So the first one was, if I have a junior in high school, what type of school should they finish if it's their senior year in Spain? And so this was her answer. So the best option is to join an American curriculum that offers a high school diploma. She would not be able to do the IB diploma, A-levels, or the Spanish bacheloretta if she only attends grade 12 because it's a 2-year program. Okay. The next question is, I'm interested in moving my family starting in January. So when should I start applying, or how do I start that process? And Tendoria Educational shared that most international schools in Madrid have rolling applications, so you can apply any time of the year, but the earlier that you start the search process, which we found to be true, the better. So make sure you have time to evaluate all of your options, and the sooner the better for researching schools, but it also may not be too late. So contact that school that you're interested in. Okay, next question. How early should you start? So going back to kind of this, can you even visit them in July when you're there? Are they open? And Tendoria Educational's response is, a year in advance is a good rule of thumb for searching schools. Whoops, we're not doing that right now. And yes, you can visit schools in July, but you have to ask the administration or admissions team of that school if they're open. I'm sure you're aware of this, but especially in August, most schools and businesses in general are closed in Spain, and it may be the case in July too. So make sure, obviously, that you connect with the admissions team before just coming on a visit without coordinating with them. Okay, the next question is, are there options for special needs? So maybe children with autism. And Tendoria Educational's response was, there are schools designed for children with autism who cannot attend mainstream schools here in Spain, although those schools will be Spanish. They'll be in Spanish. There are support services available in English, but these are more limited. And so just to speak to that from personal experience, I know our school, which is Life International School in Tres Cantos, does have support teachers for special needs. And so I think that it just depends on the school. But I agree with Nathalie here with Tendoria Educational that it's probably going to be a local Spanish school that has those resources for you, not maybe a private school. And then the next question is, what is schooling like for children with other learning disabilities like dyslexia? And so Tendoria Educational's response is, the level of support varies by school, so it's best to just be upfront with the school about these disabilities in advance. Most international schools do have educational psychologists on staff that can help with the various support of those kind of needs. And so that's positive to know when considering a move from the US. All right, the next question, do international schools offer other sports besides soccer? This is my bro's number one question. So most international schools do offer a variety of sports. We found this to be true as well. Many offer, besides football or soccer, they offer basketball, volleyball, or track. We have found as a baseball family moving from the US that is not a frequently advertised sport here. Rugby is actually a sport that we've seen at more international schools here than baseball. But we did play on an American International of Madrid baseball team for our first year here. So it is possible. It's just much different, and it's a different experience than it is in playing baseball in the US. Okay, do you recommend IB curriculum or American? And the answer from Tendoria Educational is the answer depends on so many factors, including what your family's educational goals are, the age of the child, their learning style. But in general, obtaining an IB diploma is much more demanding than obtaining an American high school diploma. So I think she sent one more question I want to make sure that I hit. No, I think that's pretty much sums up everyone's questions to her. And so I just want to talk about my own experience for a second and address us looking into a new school. And so from the US, we found initially through just a Google search what Christian schools are in Spain. And the truth of the matter is there's only 4. There are 4 non-Catholic, so Catholicism obviously is Christian, but non-denominational Christian schools, there are only 4 in Spain. There's one in Barcelona called Tendoria International. There are 2 in Madrid, one Life International School, and the other one is ECA or ECA, Evangelical Christian Academy. And the 4th is in Malaga, which is ARC Christian School, which is a British school, but is Christian. We actually just visited that school this past Monday. And so we chose Life because we thought Madrid was a great first city for us to be in. We chose Life because we met with the school staff when we visited in August. So they did come in an August day for us with advance notice. And we just felt like it was a really good fit for our family. So my family and I moved here on the volunteer visa in September of 2023. The boys were enrolled now for 2 school years there, and it's been a really sweet school. The reason that our family is looking to do something a little bit different for this season is because we are ready for something different for middle school or secondary school here in Spain. I think that although Life does an incredible job on developing character and primary education, the secondary program is very new and very small. And so we just don't necessarily want to be some of the guinea pigs, say, to be the first couple of people that go through the secondary program, if that makes sense. The school itself only has 120-ish students. And so it's very, very small. We're talking like classrooms of 9 or 10, and in secondary, the classes may be even smaller. And so we are on the search ourselves for a new school here in Spain. And the process I know can be overwhelming, whether you're doing it from the US or you're searching from Spain like we are. And I just want to encourage you, if you are thinking of enrolling your children in school for the year, that just to go with your gut. We went with our gut when we chose Life International. It ended up being a really good fit for our kids. They've loved their 2 school years there. In fact, Landon, our oldest, is pretty upset to be leaving because of the friends that he made. And in general, I just feel like there are so many options between public, private, and concertados here in Spain, but private schools that are English speaking have been a good fit socially for our kids. And I prefer, having now visited a British school in person myself, our preferences are to try to stay in that American school system. Why? Because I think it just is a little cleaner when you transfer credits. If we did return to the US for schooling, it would just make everything a little bit easier. Their grade levels wouldn't change or be different. The reporting is similar to what I'm used to, so semesters or quarters with grades that I can follow. And the British school system is typically on the Cambridge system, which is a really good system, but it's just very different. And so the encouragement is just to follow your gut. We're in prayer, our family, on our next steps. We are looking at the Malaga area for a move from Madrid for our 3rd year in Spain. And the reason is we just aren't sure how long we'll be able to continue living in Spain. We're praying through the boys' schooling, but it just depends on my husband's work contracts. It depends on renting our home in the US and really just our continued interests, right? And so the language is a struggle for my husband and I as adults, but our boys are now, especially Landon, Spanish speaking. And it's still a really good fit the country of Spain is for us. And so we figure, why not? We've already figured out the visa system. I have a great slew of families that I get to coach here in Spain. My husband has really mastered kind of the consulting business angle of what he could do for work, why not continue this adventure? And so we are aiming to spend year 3 here in Spain, but to consider a different area, not because there are not other secondary schools in Madrid, but mainly just because it would give us an opportunity to explore a whole new region. And we are looking at the Malaga suburbs. And so we'll keep you posted on our next steps as we go through our school search. As always, you can follow kind of our thinking and what's going on behind the scenes over at Go and Do Good on Instagram. I'm gonna put a link here if you are someone who is considering a move to Spain and you wanna connect and be coached on what that could look like for you and your family. And I just hope that you have a wonderful Valentine's Day and you feel all the love. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to the next episode next week. Ciao.